Tactical here. I've been trying to come up with something to talk to you guys about. I know I've been absent for a while. I've had a lot of shit going on, a lot of things happening. Everything's cool, but I've been busy. And the other side of it is, quite frankly, I don't want to just make a video just to make a video. In other words, I like to bring up something that's relevant and stimulates the mind, stimulates the listener. Shut up, buddy. You know, and maybe perhaps offers a new way of thinking or something to think about on a subject that we're all aware of. And I just haven't been able to come up with anything lately. I mean, if I tell you that Obama sucks, you guys are going to be like, yeah, no shit. If I tell you Hillary Clinton's a lying fucking sack of shit that's going to fuck up the country, that's nothing new. So I'm going to use this drive today to talk about something I made a video about a couple years ago, but I want to revisit it. And it has to do with parenting and men, boys, men, the emasculation of the male species by today's liberalism and socialist fucking belief systems and schools and all the other shit. Listen, I'm talking to parents and people that plan on being parents. And hopefully there's some young people listening. I want to start off by stating the obvious. Men and women are inherently different. And it goes far beyond us being able to write our names in the snow with our piss. We are different because we are made different. And this whole fucking liberal fantasy of everybody's the same, every human being should be treated the same, and there should be nobody that stands out from the others, is just a way to convince people that they need the state to do everything. They need to rely on the state for everything, for their fucking medical care, all the way up to their parenting, you know? It takes a village, my ass. It takes a fucking strong father in a family. Okay? We see time and time again the effects of people that are not raised properly. And don't get me wrong, I know how hard it is to be a good father with the shit going on today. I get it. You know, some of you may know that I am on my second marriage, and on my first one I've got 3 children that are grown now, 2 boys and a girl. One of the things that I've realized as I've gotten older, and I'll be 52 next month, or in July. And by the way, I have 2 stepchildren that are just reaching adulthood, and I've got 2 adopted kids too. I adopted my nephews. Now, and they're both, they're obviously both men or boys. My wife and I, we talk about this all the time. And, you know, it's a struggle. In order to be a good and effective family, you got to have a strong father. The prisons are full of people that can be, they'll tell you that they didn't have a male role model. You know, the gang was their role model. And we know where that ends up. It ends up right there in prison. Or worse, or you get somebody that goes off the handle and does something crazy, some violent shit. You get guys that grow up and they don't know how to act. They have natural male hormones that make them feel one way, but a society that's telling them that they can't act out on that, on those feelings. What a crock of shit. I mean, really. You've got countless families that don't allow their sons to do anything that is traditionally male, you know, playing guns and playing with toy guns and blah 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 because it's too violent. You've got the schools, which have been completely hijacked by the socialist agenda-driven crowd in this country that wants to drive America's fabric, change America's fabric, and drive America completely to the ground from the inside out. They're doing a good job. You know, when you're a good father, I'm not saying I'm a great father. I've made mistakes, no doubt about it. Everybody does. It's part of life. But when you're a good father, by and large, you've got to understand that you're not going to be a popular person in the family. One of the best ways to be able to tell if you're to judge your parenting skills, in my opinion, are if you find that your kids go to their mom for their loving and nurturing and all this other shit, but they think you're an asshole. That's fine. Remember, one of the things I used to try to tell my ex-wife, and I thought she understood it, but it turned out I was wrong, was, you don't want to be best friends with your kids. You can't be. And some parents struggle so hard to be cool and to be friends with their kids that they don't parent at all. If I'm a friend of yours, I'm not going to make your life uncomfortable because you're my friend. But if I'm your father and I see you fucking up, I have an absolute obligation to give it to you straight with no bullshit. None of this, pussyfooting around. If I tell you to go cut the grass and you do a shitty job, I'm going to tell you that you did a shitty job. Now, I've had problems with my family in that I am perceived sometimes as an asshole because of that. I'm too hardcore. I'm too military. I treat my kids like they're suspects and I'm a cop. And where did the families learn all this shit from? You can go look at any inner city and look at all the fatherless kids and watch where they end up. 99% of them are going to end up in jail. That's just the reality. I know because I was dealing with those kids as they grew up and committed crimes. And I was handcuffing them and putting them away. And they all told the same fucking story about not having a father and blah, blah, blah. Having a father is extremely important. I think we can all agree on that. But the problem is you got to have a father that is a man. And in a society where being a man is looked down upon, it's frowned upon, it gives us men a real challenge. But I'm here to tell you or to suggest, to challenge you to stick to your guns and stick to what you know is right. And that means you're going to have to sadly, see the thing is, you're going to have to accept the fact that your kids are probably not going to like you. And, if you're like me at all, I believe all men want to be loved by their kids. All fathers do. I did. My heart has been broken 1,000, countless millions of times because the penalty I've paid for being a strong father has been kids that don't want to spend much time with me. They don't want to hang out with a guy that's going to tell them they got a booger in their nose. They'd rather have somebody hug them and kiss their neck and talk pretty to them, which gives them absolutely nothing, no tools at all to deal with the world. So my challenge is for all of you fathers to be good, strong fathers regardless of the fact that you are not going to win the popularity contest with your kids. I firmly believe that someday, and unfortunately, it's taken me years to accept this and have to just swallow it, a good father may not realize any recognition for his efforts until he's an old man dying or dead. One of my adopted sons, who is no longer in the house, we bumped heads often, and he would use every excuse in the world to explain his shortcomings. Hey, I come from the ghetto, blah, 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 blah. Well, it didn't work with me because I came from the same ghetto. But I'll never forget when he said to me, not just the fact that he said it, and I use him as an example because this is the mentality of so many of our young people. But he looked at me and said, hey, I just don't like following rules. And on the one hand, you want to, thank the guy for being honest. But on the other, you want to punch him in the fucking face and say, how'd that feel? It's like I told him, and you should be telling your kids, if they have any of these issues, that life is nothing but fucking rules. And society has a place for people that don't like following rules, and it's called the penitentiary. It's prison, man. Prison is where we put people that have issues with following rules. You know, I'm coming up on a fucking 4-way stop sign now. I don't really feel like stopping, to be quite honest with you. I got a fucking dog on my right leg. I'm gonna have to shift my foot to the brake pedal. I'd rather just roll on through. But if I do that, there are consequences, aren't there? Maybe the least of the consequences, potential outcomes, would be me getting a ticket with a cop saw. That's the least. And that has its own ramifications. Insurance, blah, 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 everything going up. On the other hand, I may slam into somebody, broadside him, and kill somebody's family member. Cripple somebody for life, or myself. And then there's consequences for that, too. You know, when the minute you wake up, from the minute you wake up to the minute you go to bed, you're following rules, or you're headed for prison, or death. So, this whole fucking thing about, I'm gonna raise my sons the same way I raise my daughters, and nobody's gonna get any special treatment, and I don't want my boys to act out on their aggression. There are so many ramifications of this fucked up system that we have right now, the way people are raising their kids. Look at all the fucking men, the young men in their 20s and 30s who act like women. They look like women, they dress like women, they're shaving their fucking chest and their legs, and they're talking with fucking very soft, babyish voices. None of that's natural. Physically, that's not how we are. And we're not supposed to notice some chick wearing short shorts. I'm driving past one right now. Walking a dog. We're not supposed to notice that because she's not a piece of meat. She's a human being. No, she's a fucking member of the opposite sex, and it's naturally in us to notice things like that. You know? That's why you got all this, you know, you got these new phrases that have popped up in my lifetime. Metrosexual. What the fuck is that? I'm still not 100% sure, but I think it's somebody that looks gay and acts gay, but believes they're not gay. I don't even know. You know, my youngest son now, my youngest adopted son, is in high school, and I can't tell you how many high school girls are openly announcing that they're lesbians because they think it's cool. You know, now are some of them naturally lesbians? Who knows? I don't buy into that shit. I think that you got all this MTV and these reality shows and everybody talking about how cool it is to be different, that you're gonna have these fucked up kids that grow up into fucked up adults, and they're not gonna know who the fuck they are. How many times can I say fuck in a sentence? I don't fucking know. So what can we do about it? Well, you know, I think whenever we have somebody, when we see these things popping up where you got schools that are no longer going to have, you know, award ceremonies for academic achievements, and we see this on the news all the time. You know, this school's not going to do that one's not going to do this. We need to collectively stand the fuck up and raise hell. You know, one of the things that the people that are conservative do, myself included, to add to the problem is we're too fucking silent. You know, my buddy was just talking to me the other day. We were discussing the differences between the right and the left, and you know, the left, it's easy to muster people like them out to go do like the Occupy Wall Street thing. But then you look at this, you know, American Spring thing that kind of fell apart and didn't turn into anything. You know, a lot of that is because guys that have and girls that have their shit together have too much to lose, or they're too fucking busy to be out, you know, holding banners and shit and, you know, protesting. That's just one example. But we need to start making a noise, man. Start making a loud noise, because it's pathetic that we all talk to each other about how fucked up things are, but we do nothing to change these things. Nothing. And the time is already past where we need to step the fuck up and start making a difference. It's just like voting, you know. How many of us did not vote the second time or the first time around with Obama because our candidate wasn't running, or whatever the case? Look, man, I'm telling you now, a non-vote is a vote for the opposing party. I mean, it's just that simple. So we need to stop fucking throwing tantrums and saying, hey man, because I got one guy that's not going to vote, or he's not going to run, I'm not going to vote. I don't want to participate. Well, that's called stupidity. You know, make sure you fucking vote. Educate your kids to vote. If you got an 18-year-old kid that's not voting, kick him in the fucking ass. Oh, I'll go to prison. Well, maybe don't do it literally then. Do it figuratively. My adopted kid, when he turned 17, I told him, look, man, when you're 18, you better fucking get out of school. You better have a job. Or he didn't want to do anything. He didn't want to go to the military. He didn't want to go to fucking, didn't want to work. Came up with $1 million. It was everybody else's fault that he didn't have a fucking driver's license, blah, blah, blah. Nobody, you know, no responsibility at all. And he ain't in my fucking house anymore. Okay? He's not even in my fucking state anymore. Now, he may be hating my guts right now, but like I told him, someday you're either going to be sitting in a jail cell wishing you would have fucking listened to Uncle Mike. Yeah, he was an asshole, but fuck, he was right. Or you're going to be standing over my grave as a success going, thank you, Uncle Mike, for being, you know, loving me enough to be a hard ass. You know what I'm saying? I mean, being a nice, friendly parent does nothing for a kid. It does nothing. They got enough fucking friends on the internet and at school. What they need is they need somebody to set the fucking rules and enforce them. And I know I personally was considered the asshole. And I know that. You know, we told this kid, as an example, we told him to fucking, you know, stop leaving his clothes all over the floor 1,000 times. And on the, 1100th time, I fucking walked in and took all his clothes, everything he owned, and threw it off my balcony into the trees. And he spent the fucking weekend trying to fish his fucking underwear off the top of the tree. Now, there's a video on that. I think it's on this channel. And I was an asshole for doing that in the eyes of not just him, but others in my family. I don't give a fuck. Okay? I'm not here to make friends, man. I got a job to do. And if you're going to fucking have kids, or you're going to adopt kids, or you're going to claim the title of father, you better be a good one. Yes, I know the courts are against you. I understand that. In my case, you know, my fucking alleged wife was unfaithful, and I divorced her, and the courts in California fucked me. That's just the fucking, that's just what we got to deal with, man. You're a guy. You got a fucking, you know, you got a penis, so you're going to be punished. And you just got to swallow it, man. Probably shouldn't use that in the same sentence as penis, but you get where I'm coming from. You know, we need to stop feeling sorry for ourselves that we're underappreciated, and that people fucking, you know, the kids, if they have a choice to go stay with their mom who tells them how pretty they are, or stay with their dad who expects them to fucking pull their own weight, we got to accept the fact that they're going to go stay with their moms, and they're going to want to hang out with mommy who thinks it's cool to fucking, you know, sit around with their friends and smoke joints. That's great. That gets you fucking nothing, and you learn nothing. So if you're going to be anywhere near this fucking dad, you're going to be learning some shit that's going to help you when I'm gone and when I can't fucking do it for you. How many of your kids right now, your teenagers, how many of them have no fucking clue or never have changed a tire? Be honest with yourself. How many of your loved ones are driving cars right now that if they got a flat tire would have to call AAA or daddy? There is no goddamn excuse for that kind of shit. You know, there was a time when a guy and a girl, if they were driving out on a date, if they got a flat tire and the fucking dude didn't know how to change a tire, he would be ashamed and embarrassed. And the left will tell you that that's the problem. I'm telling you that the problem is not that they feel shame and embarrassed. The problem is that they don't know how to fucking take care of shit. They don't know how to provide. You know? Open up the fucking hood of your kid's car and have him point out shit to you that he recognizes. And he won't fucking know. 90% of them don't know jack shit. How about the next time your car needs an oil change, you have fucking Johnny come out and do it for you while you fucking call him names and fucking throw shit at him for fucking it up. I'm just kidding about that. But how about having them change the oil and fucking learn a skill? How about when they fucking mow the grass, if you can even get a fucking kid to mow the grass? You know, after all, they don't owe you anything. They just fucking live in your house and eat your food and shit. Why should they do anything for you? You know, that's the attitude of these guys. That they were born, and because they were fucking born, they have a right to every motherfucking comfort on the face of the earth. How many guys and girls my age had somebody give them a car? I mean, I think it was normal in those days to save your fucking money because you had a job and then buy a fucked up piece of shit car and that you could barely keep running, but you learned a lot from it, didn't you? It's time, if we're gonna salvage this country, we need to fucking start with the fucking teens and the young ones and start letting them know that the fucking world is a place where you're gonna need to have some knowledge and some experience. You can't always call triple fucking A. All right, get your ass out there, drive your kid to a fucking spot and have them drive you in their car, and then jump out and say, okay, I'm not here, your tire's flat. Take that fucking tire off and put it back on and show me how you do it. They're not gonna know how to do it. You're gonna walk them through it without touching one tool. You're gonna instruct them. Give them shit like that to do. Give them scenarios, hypotheticals. What would you do in this case? I don't know. I'd call 911. Well, there's no fucking signal and the cops are 20 minutes away. What are you going to do? You're on your date and this is what's happening. You know, we need to fucking start making fucking men of our boys and women of our daughters. Okay? Everybody's not the same. And when your daughter or your wife says that we're all the same, you go out there and say, when you can piss higher up on the wall than me, then I'll believe your fucking bullshit about we're all the same. But I don't think it's going to happen. If you're married to somebody that can fucking squirt higher than you need to fucking get a goddamn lawyer quick. Because chances are you're married to a Shima. Anyways, that's my fucking rant. I hope everybody's doing good. LMS Tactical out. Nice and beautiful out here today, a little bit humid. Oh my God!